What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking cheap blind buys that I think are worth it. I think they're worth it. Now, my motto is I blind buy so you don't have to. I don't always encourage the blind buying. I encourage the sampling. In some cases it's not that simple to do and you have to blind buy. But I get asked all the time, what are some great affordable options that I would consider that are worth blind buying? Well, I gathered 7. One's a little more dangerous than the other 6, but it's just such a damn good fragrance that I figured we'd include it. So let's talk about these 7. Stay tuned. If you like fresh, watery sea salt aquatics, you'll probably like Artisan Teal from Varvatos. This kind of gets compared to YSL-Y's DNA, but it's more of a saltwater aquatic than it is a heavily musky fragrance with fruitiness of apple and such. There is a nice clean musky tone here, but there's also water lily, I believe is what it is, that adds that watery aquatic smell with some sea salt. It's a good one, guys. It's very good. Oh, at least to me. More of a summer appropriate take on why. It has all of the freshness. Now, it's not a great performer. It's like 5 or 6 hours of longevity on me. You may get more, you may get less. Who knows? But 4.2 ounce bottle, 30 some odd to low 40s dollar range. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat. It really is a great fragrance that I think if you were looking to maybe roll the dice on something fresh, you might want to look at this one. It's Varvatos Artisan Teal. Now this one's that dangerous game I was talking about because it is a feminine-leaning, gourmand-heavy fragrance, which I do like my share of feminine-leaning fragrances, but gourmand's not really my thing. But this is an exception. This is a fun, playful, candy and ice cream type of scent. This is from Paris Corner. This is called Khair Pistachio. This is Paris Corner's take on Yum Pistachio Gelato from Khair. This opens up nice and bright, that gelato, pistachio gelato smell. You get some mintiness from some geranium, a nice sweet rum, settles into a nice hit of cinnamon, some florals, a whipped cream accord, a cotton candy accord. There's a lot going on here, guys. It smells like just hanging out in the bakery, the ice cream aisle, the candy, all these, just being around desserts, basically. And maybe it's because I'm in a caloric deficit that I'm so excited to talk about this one, because I haven't been having snacks. But this is like sniffing on a snack. This kind of curves the sweet tooth, to be honest with you. Great performer. Remember, this one leans feminine. It is more of a candy sweet type of gourmand. So, like I said, this one's the most dangerous game of the 7 in this video. But it's kind of the most fun one, if we're being totally honest here. So with all of them and with any blind buys, buy at your own risk. Try to make the most educated decision you can when it's something you can't just sample, which this is one of those cases, but I had to include it. It's just too fun of a fragrance to me. I love smelling it. It's a guilty pleasure. And that's from Paris Corner. This is Khair Pistachio. A little floral and green, some bright minty tones, and fresh cut lemons. For 14 bucks, this 40 ml of Happy Chopard's Lemon Dolce might be my best cheap fragrance blind buy of the year. It's so far, it definitely is. Will it take that crown when the year ends? Because we're only in February. Who knows? But this is all throughout the year going to be one of my best cheap fragrance pickups. This was a subscriber recommendation on one of those live streams that I do where I'm taking suggestions on what to buy, and we do some fragrance shopping on a live stream. This was a great option. I would strongly encourage checking this one out. And while this looks like cheap plastic, that is a hefty glass cap. I love the fun look and color scheme to this bottle. It's marketed for women. Guys, don't let that scare you away. I don't find it leans feminine. I think this is a beautiful fresh citrus with a little bit of zest from some peppermint and some ginger. Man, is this good. Nothing crazy good in performance, 4 or 5 hours if you're lucky, but for $14 for this 40 ml, man, I have a feeling eventually I'll go through this bottle sooner than later because I've been wearing it out the shower quite a bit since I got it. I've been talking about it quite a bit since I got it because I've been spraying and enjoying it quite a bit since I got it. So definitely one I encourage checking out. Happy Chopard's Lemon Dolce. Powdery floral, a little fresh and green with a hit of pepper, and a nice leathery suede smell, a little bit musky. It is One that if I was to let you blindly smell it, I have a feeling you wouldn't tell me it's a $20 Antonio Banderas fragrance. This is the Icon Eau de Parfum. So some note breakdowns will show you iris, some won't. Could be iris, could be violet, whatever. They kind of mimic one another in many cases. But it has this soft, powdery floral tone, a little hit of peppers, some fresh aromatics that I believe is juniper berry, if I remember correctly, not lavender. And then the suede here has a little bit of a musky, soft, leathery feel to it. Man, that is good. That is really good. And then it's like 20 bucks. It's a decent performer. 6 to 8 hour range is what I experience with it. Let's call it 6 to 7 hours realistically. Again, you may get more, you may get less, but this is my favorite, absolutely my favorite Antonio Banderas fragrance that I've ever smelled. I think this is some of their best work, personally. And if you're looking for an affordable, powdery floral with some nice depth to it as far as character, for what it is, it's phenomenal. It really is. And it's in Antonio Banderas. This is the Icon Eau de Parfum. The easiest way I can explain this one is if you take Versace Eros and you add a spiced green, heavy green accord to the top, you will get Diesel Only the Brave Street. And for these bottles that I've always dubbed as so cheesy, they're awesome. The fist with the rings, I think this is the best looking one because it's got that concrete look to it. The matte gray with the black speckles gives that cement look. Anodized orange neck. I don't know, it just, for what it is, for this style bottle, I think it's actually pretty cool looking. It's so cheesy, it's phenomenal. And the scent profile, and look, it does not get all that good of ratings on these forums on the internet, but man, I like it. I like it a lot. I paid right around like 17, 18, 19 bucks or something like that for a 75 ml tester, because they just come in white tester boxes. Nothing's different about it. I don't even know if it says tester on the sticker, if I'm being honest. It doesn't even say it on the sticker. It's fine. Performance, 4 or 5 hours. Nothing crazy, but if you want to see what the greener side of Eros's DNA could be, here you go. This is a very spring-forward type of take on Eros. Doesn't perform as well. Like I stated, I get around 4 to 5 hours, but I love the way this one smells. I think the enhancement of the green accords and the added spice over that apple vanilla aromatic DNA that Eros is known for, I think was very welcomed, and to each their own. Seems the internet's not super favorable about it, but I quite enjoy it. And I think it's actually a very safe blind buy if you know what you're getting into. It's Diesel Only the Brave Street. Okay, for 17 bucks, this is the safest one of the bunch, I think. This was another subscriber recommendation in one of those live streams where I was doing some shopping. This is Buad Yuzu from Karl Lagerfeld. This is fresh cut citrus, a nice woodsy tone, a little bit of green to it, but so watery, so fresh. Great for every day as long as you can keep it with you and refresh. 'Cause I get like 3 to 4 hours. It's nothing crazy in performance. Very, very fresh to the point to put a smile on your face when you spray it on. The sillage is gorgeous for when it's at its peak, for about the hour of projection that you're going to get, that hefty, bright, airy projection. 17 bucks for 100 ml. Tester has the tester sticker, but came with the cap, and that's all that matters to me. Like I said, great as a refresher during the day, great out the shower in the evenings, great gym fragrance. Of course, it's great for work. Just keep it with you to refresh, because I'm willing to bet that most people aren't going to get phenomenal performance out of it. But then again, just because I get on the slightly below average to weaker side, you might get better, you might get worse, who knows. But I think this is probably the safest blind buy of the bunch, and it's worth checking out if you're looking for just a gorgeous, mouth-wateringly fresh citrus with some nice woody tones. So it's actually yuzu wood is what's in here, with a little bit of ginger, I believe, for the zestiness. This is a good one. It's Buad Yuzu from Karl Lagerfeld. Citrusy, watery aquatic, sweet floral, nice and woodsy. Smells like a L'Homme Sport with a little dash of Versace Pour Homme. It's Missoni Wave. The warmer months is when I talk about this one the most, and we're right around the corner from some warm weather here in the Florida Panhandle. This is such a great fragrance for year-round if you want fresh. I think it's almost a must-try. It's not easy to get out and sample it. I'm not sure where you can go test out Missoni's fragrances. You might have to go ahead and blind buy it and roll the dice, but the hype's warranted. I'm guilty of adding to that hype a few years ago. I still love this fragrance so much. It's one of the best affordable fragrances I've ever gotten my hands on. Total blind buy that I'm so happy with, and I love shining some spotlight on it because I think it's just such a great fragrance. I get above average performance, 6 to 7 hours of longevity, pretty good projection for about an hour and a half. Let's call it 6 to 8 hour range in longevity. You might get more, you might get less, but man, this is so good. High compliment factor kind of DNA. This is very attractive, as is Chanel Allure Sport. It's in many ways Chanel Allure Sport on a budget. Again, that's Missoni Wave. Well, that's the 7 that I wanted to cover with you guys. Again, do your best to make an educated decision if you are going to blind buy. Now, the reason I accumulated these 7, like I said in the intro, I get asked all the time about it. I figured we'd cover it in a topic. These are some of my 7 personal favorites that I've been enjoying long term or I've been enjoying recently. So I figured we'd touch on them, that you could do a lot worse. Really, only one of them is kind of a dangerous game, if any, to blind buy, because it's a sweet gourmand that leans a bit feminine, but it's a very playful, fun, guilty pleasure type of fragrance for me that I really want to shine some spotlight on. So until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. Of what I covered, what do you own or have you tried? Did you happen to blind buy them? Very curious. Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 7 and you give them a spray now, it's always a chance you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.